Dialogue is very excited to launch a new series of podcasts about assistive technologies. If you are a blind user or have a low vision and like to learn more about existing assistive technologies available to help you in your daily living, or like to learn more about the technologies available in regular stores that are accessible, this series of podcast is especially for you. Dialogue is a Canadian company who offer assistive technologies for blind and low vision users like JAWS screen reader, Braille displays, small computer kangaroo, desktop magnifiers, handle magnifiers, Zoom text software, and much more. Dialogue also offer training based on your need, so face-to-face training or training available by remote connection, as well as web accessibility consulting services. My name is Alexandre Benmar and I'm the manager of tech support for blindness product. So if you have questions about technologies, especially like Braille displays, screen readers, and or would like to discuss about what is available in the market for you, I'll be more than happy to assist you. You can reach me from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on my toll-free number. It is 1-888-730-0003. Again, 1-888-730-0003, extension 101. And so I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions about technologies. For this first episode, we'll discuss about new features in Windows 10 Creator Upgrade Narrator. So Narrator is a screen reader available in Windows 10, and with the new Creator Upgrade, new features are available in Narrator. So we'll be more than happy to discuss with you about these new features. We'll discuss about Narrator in the next two episodes. So for this first episode, it's going to be introductions for beginner user, how to use Narrator, how to navigate across elements, and how to read your screen using the Narrator software. Very excited to present you our collaborator for podcast at Dialogue. His name is Olivier Danjou. Olivier is a young blind user. He used technology since many years. He is a power user. And actually, Olivier is studying at high school in management. So Olivier will be more than happy to share with you his knowledge about technologies. At the end of this episode, I'll give you a Dialogue complete contact details. So if you have comments, questions, or would like to suggest us a theme for our next podcast episode, we'll be more than happy to discuss with you. So now, showtime. Olivier will discuss with you about Narrator new features available since Windows 10 Creator Upgrade.
Hello everybody, welcome to this new podcast. This is Olivier Danjou with you today. I'm really happy to share my knowledges with you about technology. So today, I am going to teach you how to use the narrator built in Windows. So the podcast will be divided in two main parts, which means two separate podcasts. In the first one, I will teach you the basics, like how to navigate with Narrator, how to validate an item, how to move to the first item, how to move to the next item, and I will teach you how to navigate by word, by character, etc. So, as you may know, before we get started, I want to remind you that Narrator has been here for a couple of years now, but with Windows 10, it's getting better and better. So there are several ways to launch it depending on your Windows version. If you are on the latest build of Windows, which is also known as Creators Update, you have to press Control, Windows, and Enter. If you are on Windows 8, Windows 8.1, or any version of Windows 10 lower than the Creators Update version, you only have to press Windows and Enter. Since I am on Creators Update, I will press Control, Windows, and Enter to turn on Narrator.
Starting narrator.
So, I will go to the narrator settings, and I will do that by pressing Alt-Tab.
Alt-Tab. Running programs. Narrator settings. Press any key on the keyboard to hear the name of that key. Press Caps Lock plus F1 to review the full set of narrator commands. Press the Tab key to navigate through the options. Press Caps Lock and ESC to exit narrator.
Narrator also works with devices with touchscreen, but this device doesn't have a touchscreen, but Narrator still works fine even on non-touchscreen devices. So I'm going to tab now, and you will see we have different categories of options.
Tab. Narrator settings. General. Change how narrator starts and other standard settings. Button.
We will go there later.
Tab. Navigation. Change how you interact with your PC using narrator. Button. Tab. Voice. Change the speed, pitch, or volume of the current voice or choose a new voice. Button.
I will let you explore this section by yourself.
Commands. Create your own keyboard commands. Button.
Here you have the full list of the supported commands for the narrator. You can edit them, but I didn't experiment this feature. If I do it, I may do a podcast on this specific feature in the future, but for now I will let you explore this by your own. So let's return to the General button.
General. Change how narrator starts and other
And to click it, you can just hit Enter or Space.
Space. Checked enable the shortcut to launch narrator. Control plus Windows key and Enter, or Windows button and volume up on touch devices. Checkbox. Alt plus K. Unchecked lock the narrator key so you don't have to press them for each command. Caps lock. Checkbox. Alt plus L.
Okay, so as any other screen reader, like JAWS and NVDA, which behave with a key, for example, the JAWS key and the NVDA key, either the insert key or the caps lock key, Narrator also have its own key, and it is the caps lock key. So you press it along with other keys to perform actions. So the checkbox that we just heard allow you to basically not having to press caps lock every time you want to make a command. However, I recommend you leaving it unchecked because I checked it by mistake in the Windows setup and I had a lot of issues. Fortunately, I was able to get out of trouble, but I recommend you leaving off. So the next option is
Tab. Checked here characters as you type checkbox. Alt plus C.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Tab. Checked here words you type checkbox. Alt
Let me
plus
uncheck
W.
that.
Unchecked. Tab. Checked read out voiced narrator errors checkbox. Alt plus R.
Okay, so this checkbox allows you to, let's say you are at the end of a list and there's no next item or no last item. Narrator will say no next item or no next edit field or no next whatever. Let me try to show you.
Words. Landmarks.
For example, with
No next landmark. No previous landmark.
so this checkbox tells narrator to tell you, hey, there's no next. If I uncheck it
Unchecked.
with the spacebar, now let's try to go to the next landmark.
Caps lock.
You see, we only have the error sound. So I prefer that, but it's up to you.
Tab. Checked highlight cursor checkbox. Alt plus H.
So if you're familiar with voiceover, you know that when you are on an element, you have a rectangle that visually indicates it. Well, that's the same case here, except that instead of being a rectangle, it's a blue cursor, basically. So next is
Tab. Checked play audio cues checkbox. Alt plus P. Tab. Checked read UI hints and tips checkbox. Alt plus U. Checked lower the volume of other apps when narrator is speaking checkbox. Alt plus A.
in other words, audio ducking. I will show you this later.
Tab. Retain notifications to be read for 30 seconds. Editable combo box. Alt plus N. Collapsed.
So this is a standard combo box, so you use
retain notifications to be read for.
You use the up arrow and down arrow to adjust it.
Retain notifications to be read. Tab. Control whether narrator starts when I sign in. Link.
Here you can choose if you want narrator to be launched when you log into your session.
Tab. Save changes to these settings. Button.
And you have a save button.
Tab. Discard changes. Button.
Discard changes.
Tab. Help. Link.
Help.
Tooltip. Get
So
help.
I won't save.
Save changes to these settings. Press any key on the keyboard to hear the name of that key. Press caps lock plus.
Now, navigating with tab and shift tab work, as you heard. But there's another way of navigating. Say I want to emulate flicking left or flicking right on a touch screen, because in some applications it might be better with touch. So how do you do that with the keyboard? Well, you use caps lock and right arrow and caps lock left arrow. For now we'll press caps lock right arrow.
General. Change how narrator starts and other standard settings. Button. General. Alt plus G. Change how narrator starts and other standard settings.
So as you hear, as I go to the right, it reads what's to the right. So if I continue.
Navigation. Change how you interact with your PC using narrator. Button. Navigation. Alt plus N. Change how you interact with your PC using narrator. Voice. Change the speed, pitch, or volume of the current voice or choose a new voice. Button.
I can also go to the left.
Change how you interact with your PC using navigation. Alt plus N. Navigation. Change how you interact with your PC using narrator.
If you want to validate an item, there are different ways to do it. And it all depends on your Windows version. If you are on Windows 10 Anniversary Update and above, which means version 1607 and higher, you need to press caps lock and enter to validate an item. If you are on a lower version, for example, Windows 10 version 1511, or if you are on Windows 8 or 8.1, you need to press caps lock and space to validate an item. I will show you later in this podcast how to know your Windows 10 version. Say I want to click it, I press caps lock and enter.
Caps lock. Unchecked read and interact with the screen using the mouse checkbox. Alt plus R.
So this checkbox is if you want to use the mouse with narrator, you can.
Tab. Unchecked activate keys on the touch keyboard when you lift your finger. Checkbox. Alt plus F.
So if you have a touch screen, here you can choose when you lift your finger, you can choose if a character is entered or if you need to double tap to enter it. A little bit like standard typing and touch typing on iOS, if you're familiar with this.
Tab. Checked narrator cursor follows keyboard focus checkbox. Alt plus K.
I definitely recommend you leaving this checked.
Tab. Checked enable the text insertion point to follow the narrator cursor checkbox. Alt plus I.
I recommend you checking this option as well.
Tab. Select the narrator cursor movement mode. Normal. Editable combo box. Alt plus C. Save changes to these settings. Button. Press any key on the keyboard to hear the name of that key.
Next, I will show you how to navigate word by word, character by character, etc. And to do that, I'll show you how you can determine which version of Windows you have. So, what I will do, I'll press Windows R to open the Run dialog box.
R. Run. Open. Editable edit. Alt plus O.
And I will type Winver, W-I-N-V-E-R.
W-I. Run. Open. W-I. Editable edit. Alt plus O.
I'll press enter.
Enter. About Windows. OK button.
So I need to go to the left, because if I use Tab or Shift Tab,
Tab. This product is licensed under the Microsoft Soft OK button.
you see I'm not able to see the version. So that's where being able to go right and left is useful. So I will go to the left.
Caps Lock. The Windows 10 Pro operating system and its user copyright 2000 version 1703. OS build 15063.413.
Okay, so let's say I want to hear that word by word or character by character. What I do, and that's what I did when I showed you the error sound, I pressed caps lock and the down arrow key.
Words.
So now, if I use caps lock and right arrow,
1703. Opening parenthesis. OS. Build. 15063.413.
okay, so I will go to left now.
Build. OS. 1703.
Say I want it to be spelled, so I will caps lock down arrow once more.
Characters. 7.
So the cursor was on the 1.
1.
So now if I hit, I went to the left. Now if I hit caps lock right arrow.
703 space. Opening parenthesis.
So I am navigating character by character now.
Landmarks. Form fields. Items.
I'm using caps lock down arrow, and now I did it until I heard items. So that's how you navigate character by character, words by words, etc.
Caps Lock. Copyright 2017. The Windows 10 Pro operating system and its user interface are protected by trademark and OK button.
So to validate it, again I will press caps lock and enter.
Thank you very much, Olivier, for this first part of the episode. Before continuing with Olivier, I'll take the lead for a couple of minutes to talk with you about a very exciting new feature of the Windows 10 Creator Upgrade Narrator. And I'm talking about the possibility to handle a Braille display directly inside of the narrator screen reader. So yes, since Windows 10 Creator, it is possible to connect a Braille display to the narrator and use narrator to control Braille display and display some text in Braille. Please take note that this feature is still considered under beta by Microsoft, so if you decide to test it on your own, you may experience some issues or bug. Okay, however, it is good to send comment to Microsoft if you'd like to perform some testing. Personally, I did some testing with two different Braille displays, a Brilliant BI 40 from Humanware as well as a Focus 40 from Freedom Scientific. With Narrator, it is possible to use Braille display either using an USB connection or Bluetooth one. With both Braille display, Focus and Brilliant BI, I was able to connect over Bluetooth. However, regarding the USB connection, the only Braille display that I was able to use with was the Brilliant BI 40. Regarding the Focus 40, I was unfortunately unable to use it over a USB connection. So today I'll explain you how to set up a Focus 40 Blue from Freedom Scientific using a Bluetooth connection. So first of all, we're gonna open the control panel. So please take note that in the Creator update, there's no more shortcut to access control panel using the context menu by pressing Windows X. So the best way will be to put the focus on desktop, then find the icon control panel. By default, there's no control panel icon on desktop. However, you can go ahead and create one if you'd like to have one on your desktop. So actually in my environment, I already have the appropriate icon to perform the task. Let's go and open the control panel. So I'll put first of all the focus on the desktop by pressing Windows D.
Recycle bin, 1 of 9.
Okay, so actually I'm on my desktop, so I'll go ahead and open the control panel.
Control panel. All control panel items. Administrative tools. Link.
Okay, so please make sure that in your control panel you're using the small or large icon display view. Otherwise, you will not be able to complete next task. So, and also, I just want to inform you that it's possible to pair a Bluetooth device using the settings center in Windows 10. However, using a screen reader, it is better to use the control panel to pair a device. So let's go and open the devices and printer icon into the control panel.
Default device manager, devices and printers.
Pressing enter.
Enter. Devices, cask. Realtek hide, item 1 of 16.
On Shift Tab because actually I'm viewing the list of my actual devices.
Command module, add a device button. Add a wireless or network device to this computer.
So before clicking this button, I'll go ahead and turn on the Focus 40 Blue to put it in pair mode. There we go. So I can pair it into the microphone. So I'll go ahead and click the button to search for devices.
Enter. Add a device. Add a device. Device list. Unknown button.
So I'll go ahead with my
unknown
keys to view available device.
Apple Focus 40 BTE 8D169E5.
So here we go. Pressing enter.
Enter. Focus for editing.
Windows asks me for the pin code. It is 0000.
00000.
Pressing enter.
Enter. Device setup details progress. 5% progress bar. Normal. Current value. 5. Minimum value 0. Maximum value 100. Device setup details progress. 60. Command module. Add a device button. Add a wireless or network device to this computer.
Now the focus is properly connected. So we'll need to find specific information to give later to Narrator to make it work. So let's go and press tab to access to device list and find under the unspecified category the Focus 40.
Devices, 5, group header.
So pressing down arrow.
Cask, multimedia My Book, printers, fax, unspecified, USB Ultra Pro.
Then pressing right arrow.
Focus 40 BTE 8D169E5, 2 of 2. Focus 40B.
I'll open properties by pressing Alt Enter.
Enter. Focus 40 BTE 8D169E5 properties. Selected.
Then Control tab to open the Hardware tab.
Selected. Hardware tab item. Selected.
Pressing tab.
Device functions. Table device functions. Table has 2 rows, 2 columns. 2 column headers, 1 levels of column headers, 0 row headers, 0 levels of row headers, table reads from left to right, then top to bottom, focus 40 BTE8D169E5, 1 of 2, selected.
That is not the information we are looking for, so I'll press the down arrow.
Lean Seria Sur Bluetooth Standard, COM7, 2 of 2, selected. Selected.
And this is the information we need to make it work. The COM port number under Bluetooth serial device. So here's the COM7. I'll let you hear again the information.
Lean Seria Sur Bluetooth Standard, COM7, 2 of 2, selected. Selected.
Fantastic. So let's close this window by pressing escape.
Unspecified. Focus 40 BTE8D169E5, 2 of 2.
And finally,
Focus 40
the devices and printer window by pressing
BTE8D169E5.
Alt F4.
Item F4.
Going back to desktop by pressing Windows D.
Control panel, 6 of 9.
Excellent.
Selected.
As the next step, I'll go ahead and open the ease of access settings in Windows 10 Creator by pressing Windows U like uniform.
Settings. Settings. Search box. Find a setting. Editing.
I'll press Tab.
Narrator, 1 of 7.
We are looking to change narrator setting, so here we go. I'll press Tab until I'll find the button that will allow me to download and install the Braille drivers. So let's go.
On. Narrator. Off. Start narrate. Choose a voice. Speed. Pitch.
There is a lot of tabbing to do.
On. Amount of. Order of content. On. Off. On. Highlight the. On. Have insert. Off. BRLT. New GPLv3 license terms. LibLewis web page. New LGPLv2. Download and install Braille button.
Here we go. So pressing Enter.
Enter. Downloading. User account control. No button. Alt. N.
So this is a security window of Windows, so we'll need to validate by clicking Yes. Pressing Tab.
User account. Yes button.
Pressing
Alt.
Enter.
Y. Microsoft. Settings. Driver package matches devices that already have their drivers up to date. Total driver packages. 1 ADDED driver packages. 0.
Here we go. So pressing Tab.
Settings. On. Enable Braille. Toggle switch.
Perfect. Excellent. Pressing Tab again.
Add a Braille display button.
So here's the Add Braille display button. So that's going to be our next step. Pressing Enter.
And add a Braille display. Select Braille display manufacturer.
I'll go ahead and select the
Combo box.
Freedom Scientific.
Collapsed.
Pressing down arrow.
Albatross. Alva. B2G. Bomb. Braille memo. Zebra. Echo Braille. Euro Braille. Freedom Scientific. 12 of 27.
Perfect.
Selected.
Tab.
Add a Braille display. Select a connection type. Combo box. Collapsed.
Here's the place where we need to choose if we'd like to connect the Braille display using a virtual serial port or an USB one. So pressing down arrow.
Serial. 1 of 2.
Here's the
Selected.
serial.
USB. 2 of 2.
And the USB. So in our case, I'll press up arrow to select serial port.
Serial. 1 of 2.
Then press
Selected.
Tab.
Device Manager. Link. Settings. Using a. Add a Braille display. Select an output port. Combo box. Collapsed.
So here is the time to enter the output port value. So that is the information we found previously in the hardware tab of the Focus 40 Blue device. So pressing down arrow to select COM7.
COM1. COM2. COM3. COM6. COM7.
Here we go.
7 of 9.
Pressing
Selected. Add a Braille display. Add button. Add
Here we go.
enabled.
Pressing Enter.
And settings. Add a Braille display button. Flick up to move to window.
Here I'll gonna press Shift Tab to turn off then on the Braille support.
Settings. On. Enable Braille. Toggle switch.
Pressing space to turn it off.
Off. Enable Braille.
Then space
Toggle
again.
switch. On. Enable Braille. Toggle switch.
Next step will be to turn off, then on the narrator to initialize the Braille.
Windows.
pressing
And
Control Windows
exiting
Enter.
narrator.
Then Control Windows Enter again to turn it on.
Starting narrator.
So now, I can see the Braille TTY message as well as the version number and the no screen message. When I'll go ahead and press Tab, Braille will start to refresh.
Add a Braille display button.
Here we go.
Freedom Scientific. COM7. Current Braille display. 1 of 1.
Here's the
Non-selected.
name of the Braille display we
Non-selected.
just selected.
Choose a language. English. Unified English Braille.
Here
Editable
are
combo box.
different languages
Collapsed.
available.
English.
So let's
United
go
Kingdom.
with
21 of 87.
up or down
Selected.
arrow.
English. Esperanto. Estonian. Finnish. English. United Kingdom. English. United States.
Let's select this
22
one.
of 87.
Pressing Tab.
Choose a table type. Grade 1. Editable combo box. Collab. Grade 2. Computer Braille. 8 dot.
So
3 of 3.
grade 1, grade 2 for contracted Braille, and the computer Braille for Braille 8 dots. So pressing Tab again.
Get help. Link.
So link to get help.
Give us feedback.
Give us
Link.
feedback. Here we go.
Home button.
And finally the home button to go back to the main screen of Settings Center of Windows 10. For those of you who are using a Braille display with a Braille keyboard, you'll be able to use this keyboard to type text in text edit box or to perform some command that will allow you to control your computer. Yes, Narrator allow you to use your Braille keyboard like other screen readers. So this is it for Braille. I just want to mention again that it's a feature under beta. Sometime Braille display over Bluetooth are not working well, even if it is the best way to use Braille display at this time with the narrator. Also, some bugs are remaining and Microsoft need to improve the Braille driver to better performance, especially in a text editor like Notepad. Sometimes it happens that if you have more than one line of text, both lines will be one after the other on the same Braille pen, so it's not gonna be first line, then blank area, and so padding right, then second line. No, it's gonna be all together. So Microsoft need to improve the quality of the driver, but anyway, it's something very interesting for the beginning, and I hope that in future version of Windows, some improvement will be made for Braille user. Let's go back to Olivier, who will complete the actual podcast.
Now I will show you the audio docking feature. So to do that, I will play one of my favorite songs, which is called Good to Me. Before I start the song, I would like you to pay attention when the narrator will speak. The music volume will be lower. Once narrator stops speaking, you will see that the music volume becomes louder. So let's play that song.
Connie Talbot. Good to me. VLC Media Player. Connie Talbot. Good to me. VLC Media Player window.
Chapters over.
Okay, I will go to the desktop now.
D. Connie Talbot.
You left alone.
Let's go to the
Selected.
start menu.
Start. Search box. Editing.
Inside. Can't believe I've got to move on.
Okay, I will go to the settings.
S. T.
Hold on to.
Settings. Enter. Settings.
Carry your words in my heart. You were my teacher.
I will close the settings window.
F4.
My angel, believe
And I will return in the VLC window.
Alt. Tab. Running programs. Current application Connie Talbot 2 of 4 doubled. Running applications. Narrator settings. Task switching. Sound 4 of 4. Connie Talbot. Good to me. VLC Connie Talbot. Good to me. VLC media player.
Okay, so just before I leave you, I forgot to mention that the narrator settings window.
Narrator settings. Press any key on the keyboard to hear the name of that key.
So if you close this window, like if you do Alt F4 on it,
Exiting narrator.
narrator is turned off, so you cannot close this window. Otherwise it will turn off narrator.
Starting narrator.
So I
Connie
turned
Talbot.
it back on.
Good to me.
So thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope you liked it. So this was Olivier Danjou. Thank you so much for listening. Wherever you may be, have a wonderful day or wonderful night. Bye for now.
Before the end of this podcast, I would like to say thank you for your loyalty to this series of podcasts about assistive technologies. I would also like to thank our loyal collaborator. As a reminder, I would like to inform you that Canadialog will not provide free technical support on products presented during these shows and that are not sold directly by Canadialog. For any questions, comments, or suggestions about our podcast, you can reach us via email at podcastwithns@canadialog.com. That is PODCASTS at CANADIALOG.com. You can reach us by phone using our toll-free number at 1-888-730-0003 extension 555. Again, 1-888-730-0003 extension 555. I also invite you to visit our website, which contains a lot of useful information at www.canadialog.com. www.canadialog.com. You can also visit us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for listening.